What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and this video I want to talk about the Rematch beta and how well it seems to be doing, at least over on Steam. Now, this is also kind of just an excuse for me to talk a little bit about it because I'm addicted. I'm freaking in it. I played the first beta test. It was completely hooked, and now the second test. Look, I'll say the second test has been way more kind of messy. I jumped in on PlayStation, and I maybe should have tried PC because PlayStation, man, there's lag. There's issues kind of there, and also there's a lot of matchmaking problems where it can take 6 to 8 minutes to get into a match. And I know they've tried to address that, but it's been much more rough than it was on PC when I played it the first time. But still love the freaking thing. I think it has so much potential, and I'm in love with this game, so I want to kind of stress that. But I've long said that I think this game really is going to surprise some people because they're coming from Sifu, and this is not the change that I would have, or the next game even, that I would have thought that they would do. And that's okay. Maybe one day we can get a Sifu too, but for now I think we have an incredible soccer game. And you look at the player numbers, I think it backs me up. I really think this game has something special, even with just like the base gameplay mechanics. I've talked a lot about Rocket League. I don't know if it can achieve that kind of success and specifically last for that long. That's a game that's been going strong for literally almost a decade now. So this game has a lot of work to do before it reaches that. But this game, depending on when you look at the Steam charts, it can be in the top 5, top 6. It peaked at just under, I'll round up, okay? It peaked at 160,000, technically 159,865 last night. And actually, if you go back too, because remember, this is test 2, you go back to mid-April. We had it April 18, 19, 20, and 21. The game hit 100,000 all of those days. It peaked there at 133. So technically it did almost 30,000 more the second time around than the first time. And there's no way of knowing for like the console players, and I do think that's going to kind of be important, right? A lot of people are, again, I think, comparing this game actually, well, okay, maybe rightfully so, to other soccer games. So they're looking at the Steam charts and saying, okay, well, where did any of the FIFAs, or whatever the new name they call them nowadays, where does that compare, or how does that compare? And Rematch is crushing it. Now, it's a beta versus a paid game, right? So you look at all the FIFA numbers, and this game is far above those, but you're playing this one for free. When the game comes out, it's going to be $30. I think that's a good deal, and we'll talk about that more in future videos, but I think that's a good price for it. What happens then? Are we going to see these numbers cut in half, cut in, 70, 80%, or are they going to stay roughly where they are? Are they actually going to grow, or are they going to see this kind of huge level of success? We'll see. June 19th is when this game comes out, so they got a few more weeks, but, and also, like I said, there's no real way of knowing for consoles. Originally I thought, okay, well, maybe no one's playing, like maybe I'm like the only PlayStation player on planet Earth. Turns out, I think it was just a lot of the matchmaking issues, but, I imagine, I don't know, by these numbers, I feel like it would be doing better on PC than on consoles. I think there was a tweet where they said that Xbox codes are actually very limited because of like certification things that they're doing. So we'll see when the base game comes out. If you remember, Rocket League was on PS Plus, and I think that really carried and helped the game, in that definitely the initial month, but even maybe the first year, being on PS Plus, big deal, for a game like that. Technically, though, Rematch is on Game Pass, so you never really know. That can get a couple million people, just to jump in through Game Pass, and then you'd have people that are buying it on Steam, buying it on PlayStation, I guess buying it on Xbox as well. But Game Pass can, I think, seriously help it as well. So we'll see how it does, but right now I think it continues to kind of back me up that this game can be rather, I think this game has something, whether it kind of realizes that potential. And like I said, Rocket League, it's obviously a comparison because of the soccer thing and that kind of arcadey feel, but to achieve that success that Rocket League did, that's pretty rare. I don't know if it can actually do that, but these numbers are pretty promising right now. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.